Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 33 of Was I in the Wrong? On this show, we like to judge, we like to give advice, we like all the petty drama. But before we get into our stories for today, just our regular housekeeping. Whether you are new here or returning, please remember to engage with the content to help the channel grow. If you are listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review and share it with a friend. Subscribe for more. And if you are watching on YouTube, please leave a comment with your thoughts on stories down below. Like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe for more, and press the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. All right. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/AITA_WIBTA_public. AITA for refusing to let my sister borrow $15,000 from my inheritance to pay for her dream wedding. So for context, my dad passed away 3 years ago and left me, 28 female, and my sister, 26 female, each a portion of his estate. He was very intentional about how he divided things. My sister got the house, which was already mortgage-free, because she lived with him and cared for him toward the end. I, on the other hand, got a lump sum of money, about $50,000, because I had moved out years earlier and was already renting my own place. My sister has always been a little reckless with money. She works, but she's constantly taking trips, buying luxury items, and upgrading her car every couple of years. Meanwhile, I've been using my inheritance responsibly. I paid off a huge chunk of my student loans, built an emergency fund, and I'm saving for a down payment on a house. Here's where the problem starts. My sister got engaged last year and is planning a massive, over-the-top wedding. We're talking a $60,000 budget with a fancy venue, custom dress, and an open bar for 300 guests. Ooh, okay. She recently came to me and asked if she could borrow $15,000 from my inheritance money because she and her fiancé are short. She swore up and down that she'd pay me back within a year, once they got their finances in order. I told her no. That money isn't just sitting there for me to throw around, it's for my future. Plus, given her history with money, I don't believe she'd ever pay me back. She flipped out crying about how Dad would want her to have the wedding of her dreams, and how I'm being selfish because I already used the money to better my life, while she hasn't gotten anything out of hers yet. My mom sided with her and told me I should help family, and that weddings are once in a lifetime. But my fiancé, 29 male, and friends think I'd be insane to hand over $15,000 for a party. Yes. My sister and I haven't spoken properly in weeks. She's told extended family that I'm ruining her big day because I'm hoarding money. For the record, if she had asked for a smaller amount for something important like medical bills or emergency expenses, I might have considered helping. But a luxury wedding? No. Now, I'm being painted as the villain, and I can't help but wonder if I'm being too rigid. AITA for refusing to lend my sister $15,000 for her wedding, even though I got inheritance money? No. This is exactly the reason why your dad gave her the house and you the money, because he knew what she would do with the money. If he had given her the money, she would probably already be broke by now. So yeah, and you say like your dad was really intentional about how he split things up, like he had some wealth saved, and like her flipping out and crying just shows she's entitled, and trying to pull the dad card, oh, he wouldn't want me to have the wedding of my dreams. Probably not to the tune of $60,000. That's outrageous. 300 guests? You're really close to 300 people. I don't think so. Your sister's being entitled. She's being ridiculous. You are right. You are not the asshole. Don't let the extended family and everyone who's on her side trick you into thinking that. Like your friends said, it is a party. Yes, it is hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime event. Her wedding will be. But if you are going into debt to get married, then your focus is on the wedding, not the marriage. And I don't think that's a good way to start. So, you are right. Don't give in. Story number 2 is coming to us from r/AITA_WIBTA_public. AITA for refusing to give up my inheritance money to pay for my brother's wedding. I, 27 female, lost my dad 2 years ago. It was the hardest thing I've ever been through. In his will, he left me a significant amount of money, around $30,000, with the note that it was specifically to help me get on my feet, build my future, and have stability. I like the specificity. He didn't leave the same amount to my older brother, 30 male, because my dad always said my brother was reckless with money and never saved a dime. Fast forward to now, my brother is engaged and his fiancée wants a huge, extravagant wedding. They don't have anywhere near enough money to cover it. Somehow my family got it into their heads that I should step up and use my inheritance to fund their big day because Dad would have wanted the family together celebrating love. Wow. I said absolutely not. That money was my father's last gift to me. It's helping me pay down my student loans and put a down payment on a small house. I told them if they want a big wedding, they can either wait and save or scale back to something affordable. Exactly. My brother and his fiancée blew up. She called me selfish. My brother said I was dishonoring Dad's memory. And my mom said, it's just money, but a wedding is once in a lifetime. Now, half my extended family is on their side saying I'm being greedy and tearing the family apart over dollars and cents. Here's the kicker. My brother has a history of blowing money on cars, gadgets, trips, and then asking everyone else to bail him out. I can't help but feel like if I gave in, I'd never see a penny of it back, and Dad knew exactly what he was doing by leaving the money with me and not with him. Still, I feel torn. I don't want to be the villain who ruined my brother's wedding, but I also don't think my future should be sacrificed for one day of partying. AITA for refusing to use my inheritance to pay for my brother's wedding. Reading these two stories back to back, I think it's so funny to see like when there are two siblings, like there's one saver and one spender. I think that's probably pretty universal. OP, you are right. You are not the asshole. Again, same as last story. Your brother is entitled. I don't like that they're pulling the dad card saying you're dishonoring his memory. And if it's just money, like your mom said, it wouldn't be something to throw a fit about because they couldn't get it. It's craziness the way people will act over a wedding. Because like if you wanted to throw a housewarming party or a baby shower, you wouldn't go into debt for it like you do for a wedding. It's still one day. It's still a party. You wouldn't beg your family for outrageous amounts of money for those other types of parties. You wouldn't. A wedding is not that much more special. You could spend no money going to the courthouse to have a wedding, and it would still be magical because you still exchange these vows, promising your love to each other forever. That's what it's about. So you are not the asshole. You are right. Don't give him a dime because you're right. Your dad knew what he was doing when he left you with the money and not your brother. All right. Maybe our next story is a different topic than weddings. I don't know yet. Story number 3 is coming to us from Am I the Jerk? AITJ for refusing to give my friend a ride after she kept showing up late. I, 27 female, have been giving my friend Kara, 26 female, rides to work for months because we live in the same neighborhood and I pass her office on my way. At first, it was fine. She'd be outside waiting, but lately she's been consistently late. I leave at 7:30 sharp every day. She'll text me 1 sec and then I sit there in my car for 10 minutes. Sometimes she doesn't even come out until 7:45. Last Friday, she made me so late that I barely clocked in on time. My boss pulled me aside to remind me that punctuality matters. That was my breaking point. This Monday, I texted her that I can't wait anymore. If she's not outside at 7:30, I'm leaving. She didn't reply. At 7:30, I drove off. She blew up my phone with messages calling me selfish and fake for not waiting, saying she had to take the bus in the rain. Now some mutual friends are saying I was too harsh because what's 10 minutes? But I feel like it's my gas, my car, my time. Am I the jerk for refusing to give her rides anymore? No. You are right. For one, you don't owe her the rides. She's just a friend. You don't owe her anything. And you say it's your gas, your car, your time, but it's also your job. And if her being late has affected you getting to work enough that your boss actually pulled you aside to talk about it, it's a problem. She can either be on time or not. And it's not like you did not warn her. You sent her a message and you said, if you're not there at this time, I'm leaving. You followed through with your boundary. You said it, you did it. It's on her. Like if she cannot be timely, for the person who's inconveniencing themselves to come help her, then she needs to get a car. Or she needs to plan her day to leave accordingly to take the bus in the rain. That's just all it is, because no one owes her anything. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/AITA_relationships. AITA for breaking up with my boyfriend after he kept peeing everywhere when drunk. Immediately no. I, 22 female, have been dating this guy, 23 male, who has a serious drinking problem. When he gets blackout drunk, he snores, thrashes around, and pees. Not just once, but multiple times. He's peed in my bed more than once, on my couch, and even on my sister's couch. He leaves his piss-soaked clothes on the floor, doesn't put them in the washer, which is literally right there, and doesn't even shower after. I'm the one stuck cleaning up. Last night he went to a concert, got wasted, and showed up at my place around midnight. I ignored him at first, but he let himself in using my door code, without asking. At 3 a.m., I woke up to find he had peed my bed again. Thank God I had a mattress protector this time. When I confronted him, I also found pee on the toilet seat, the floor, and he didn't even flush. I told him I felt disgusted, disrespected, and that I'm done cleaning up after a grown man. He kept apologizing and asking what he could do, but I told him nothing. This morning, he knew not to kiss me, just said okay and left. I feel lighter, but part of me wonders if I was too harsh since he clearly has issues with alcohol. So AITA for breaking up with him because I don't want to spend my relationship worried if my boyfriend is going to piss my bed or furniture again? No, he's being so disrespectful. He's choosing to continue to have these issues. Like, he can't not know that there's a problem with the way that he's drinking and what happens when he gets this drunk. And especially, like, to not clean up after yourself just shows such a level of disrespect. Like, it's one thing to have an accident. It's another thing to expect other people to take care of cleaning it up. This whole thing is so disrespectful. You are right. You are not the asshole. Yeah, one time we had a friend stay at our place and he got drunk. He slept on the couch, and first thing in the morning, like, he just went outside. But when I got up, I realized that he had peed the couch, like, so much that it ran out in the floor, and never said a word about it. I was so mad. Like, that's not my job. That is not my job to clean up your grown-ass mess. No. I did, because what else was I going to do? Like, he left. So I told my husband when he got back, and I'm just like, he's still our friend. He is still welcome, but he's not staying the night inside ever again. Like, if he wants to camp outside in a tent, he can, that's fine. But, like, I threw a couch away. I threw a whole couch away. I can't just keep throwing couches away. So, I mean, the fact that you have put up with this for so long is insane to me, especially that you put up with it for so long without saying anything. I could not. I could not. I'm good at cleaning, but I don't like cleaning. Yeah, so I'm just not going to tolerate that, and you shouldn't either. Hopefully, like, losing you and losing this relationship will be the wake-up call for him to start dealing with his issues. Okay, what story are we on? Story number 5 is coming to us from r/AITAH. AITA for not canceling a trip my son has been looking forward to just because my fiance doesn't want to go. This one is tagged advice needed. Edit to clarify. She never acts resentful. Okay, we need to read the edit after. Throwaway account. My fiance and I have been dealing with uncertainty about whether we could have children together for months now. I had a vasectomy reversal, but the most recent tests show it probably failed. She's devastated, and while I'm upset too, it hits her harder since I already have a child from a previous relationship. There's some resentment there. She's also nearly 40, so the reality is she's running out of time to have kids. I've been doing my best to be understanding of her feelings overall. I've even gotten us professional help to work through her anger and sadness, and with feelings of resentment she has towards my 4-year-old son. We had a trip planned for next week for the 3 of us. I booked and paid for it already. It's only 4 nights, but my son has been really excited because I've taken him there before and he had a great time. Now, after the latest test results, my fiance says she doesn't want to go. She also told me that if she's not going, then the whole trip should be canceled. Selfish? I told her that if she was truly in a bad spot, I wouldn't leave her alone. But to me, it feels less about needing me there and more about if I can't go, you shouldn't go either. She even said we shouldn't be in a celebratory mood. I don't think it's fair to my son, who is innocent in all this and has been looking forward to the trip for months. But my fiance sees me going without her as not being there for her. If I take my son, she may see it as betrayal and possibly end our relationship. I feel torn and am frightened on what the right thing is to do if she decides she doesn't want to go. AITA if I take my son on the trip without her? No. You are right for continuing on with the trip. You're not the asshole. Your son is 4. And like giving into her feelings, which really have nothing to do with the trip, and canceling it just because she's upset. Like, she's not actually going through something immediate or severe, like a loss in the family or something. She's just upset about something that was already ongoing. She's being so selfish to expect you to cancel a trip just because she doesn't want to go. It's not that she can't go. She doesn't want to. She doesn't feel like going and having a good time. Okay, that's fair. But you and your son do. So you should absolutely still go. She might end the relationship, but that might not be a bad thing. If she is this upset about the fact, this was something that she really needed to consider before you guys got serious. Because if she was that set on having a kid, on having it like naturally with the partner she was with, that was something she needed to think about more and consider that it probably wouldn't be possible with you because you already had a vasectomy. And like she needed to come to terms with the fact that you and her were not having a biological kid before it got this serious. If, adoption was an option, okay, that's a different story. Like you guys can work on that. But from the get-go, you already had the vasectomy. She never should have been expecting to have a kid with you. And so like if her entire like existence at this point is hung up on having a natural biological child, then she probably needs to be with someone who can give that to her. And if it's not you, then you guys weren't meant to be, if that is something that she needs. But no, your son shouldn't suffer by not going on this trip, and you shouldn't suffer by losing the money you already paid for this trip because she decided she's in a bad mood. No, it's selfish. Story number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Story number 6. Numbers are not my thing, guys. It's coming to us from r/am I overreacting? AIO for asking guests to take off their shoes in my apartment. This one is tagged neighbor/local. I, 27 female, just moved into my first apartment on my own. It's a small 1-bedroom, but I'm really proud of it because I worked hard to save up and finally got a place that feels like mine. The carpet is light beige, and when I moved in, it was freshly cleaned. I grew up in a no shoes inside household, so it's natural for me to keep things tidy by asking people to leave their shoes at the door. It's not even a big production. I put a little shoe rack and a welcome mat right by the entrance so it feels obvious and easy. Most of my friends and family have been totally fine with it. Some even joked, "Wow, your place looks like a Pinterest board," which made me happy because I really try to take care of it. The problem happened last weekend. I invited a few friends over for a casual hangout. When one of my friends, 28 female, came in, I asked her to take her shoes off. She immediately rolled her eyes and said, "Oh my God, are you really one of those people?" I laughed it off and said something like, "Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to keep the carpet clean." But instead of just slipping them off, she walked right in with her boots still on. Rude. I reminded her politely, but she waved me off and said, "Relax, it's not that deep." Oh no. Oh no. Disrespectful. You're being controlling. Honestly, I felt pretty disrespected, as you should. It is not like I was asking her to do something wild. It's my home, my carpet, and I wasn't rude about it. Afterward, I noticed dirt marks near the couch where she had been sitting. Later, another mutual friend texted me and said I was making a big deal out of nothing and that asking guests to take their shoes off is uptight. But other friends who were there told me it's completely normal and that she was being the rude one. Yes. Now I'm second guessing myself. I don't want to be seen as controlling or obsessive, but at the same time, it is my place and I feel like people should respect my rules when they're in my home. Yes. So, AIO for asking guests to take off their shoes in my apartment? No. It is amazing to me how many people will so easily second guess themselves when somewhere in here they know they're right. They know it. Don't let people convince you different. There are like whole countries in the East where is it East? West? I can't remember. Oh, I just forgot. I think it's East. I think America's West. Yeah, Eastern medicine. Yeah. There are whole countries in the East where taking off your shoes is so standard, completely standard, and you would be considered rude for walking into someone's house without taking your shoes off. I've seen in some apartment buildings, people set the welcome mat even outside their door and have a basket outside their door, like in the apartment building hallway, for people to set their shoes off before they even set foot in the apartment. Right now, in the house where I live, there is like a 30-year-old carpet, and I'm sure it's not good, but it was a shoe household before I got here, and I grew up in a shoes inside household. To each their own, it's fine. But I know that when I finally build my new house, my dream house, many years from now, I will be a no shoes household. I will also be a no carpet household, for sure. We can have area rugs, we can have mats. There's not going to be a carpet. But I will be a no shoes household regardless, because our shoes are just so dirty. They're just so dirty, and the mud and the dirt, and like we have livestock, there's chicken poop, like the chances that someone has stepped, the amount of times that I have had to clean hardwood and carpet because someone stepped in a pile of dog shit and walked in the house and didn't realize it, the anger that I feel, and it could so easily be avoided if you just take your shoes off at the door. Yes. And you have been so great about it because you have the mat, you have the shoe rack, you made it so convenient for people. It is not an insane or an outrageous expectation. You are not being controlling. It's your home. You get to decide. And honestly, you should not have let her in. Like the moment she tried to walk past you with her boots on, physically stop her and say, "Excuse me, this is my home. These are my rules. You can take your shoes off or you can leave." Like that's it. It is not a difficult thing. And like for a lot of times, like out here in the country, everyone has a porch, and there are some people, that they have no shoes inside rules when they got a new house. So, okay, if you don't want to take your shoes off, we'll visit out here on the porch. Perfectly reasonable. Yeah, your friend was rude and she was disrespectful. And I hope you're not inviting her back ever again. Okay, that is 6 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? That is us done for the day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time for another episode of the Misty Morrison Podcast. Bye.